I just told him, at some point, we've talked about it. We've talked about it every game that we got to get better defensively, we got to get better defensively, but we're not showing much progress. And I said, at some point, we got to make up our minds that we're going to do it. Now, I might have said if somebody gets a direct drive, they're going to come out of the game. And so that might have woken up a little bit. Who knows? Because I was telling myself, I was like, do you think really me saying every time somebody allows a direct drive, that person's coming out of the game, change our defense that much? If that's the case, then I need to have something every game or every day to add to it to where you're coming out to make them perform. But, I think it was just they were a little embarrassed by their effort probably. Know they were better. We showed them the stuff on tape. And a lot of times when you see stuff on tape and it's pretty glaring that you're better than that, you come out the next time to prove that you're better than that. And I think it's a little bit of everything, and we haven't fixed all of our defensive issues. It's going to be a process. We're going from guys that have been a full court pressing team and different kind of concepts to half court man-to-man defense, and I'm still teaching a lot of stuff, and they're still learning. And with Jaquel coming back, we got different people in the mix, and so it's still a work in progress. But we're gonna keep doing what we do every day at practice until it becomes routine, natural, to where they're not thinking about, oh yeah, I forgot we do that now and we used to do it this way. It's just going to be, this is how we do it.
You got ECU on Thursday. You've already seen them once, not in an official game, but in a scrimmage environment. How much does that help that you've seen these guys before?
I think the thing that helps them most is just their athleticism. Like you know what their athleticism is like. You know what their length is like. Nobody showed their whole hand and ran all their sets against each other because it was running clock and it was 13 minutes, so you can't really, take that subset as what the game's going to look like. But they did match up with them. They know how big they are, or small, vice versa. Those things. You watch tape and you're like, oh, he looks long, but you don't really know until you play against him. Or he looks pretty physical, but when you remember getting pushed around for those 5 minutes or whatever it was, that stays in your mind. And I think that's the biggest thing, because you don't ever really scrimmage against opponents, other than you play league opponents twice. So the first time you play a league opponent you see him for the first time, you remember that the second time. So that would be very, very similar to what I think the positives and or the negatives. They know how big and strong Devontae is, but they've also played against him the last couple of years. So.
Did you review the tape on the fouls that Devontae got in and kind of talk with him about some things he can fix to prevent that from happening?
Yes. I watched the tape and I met with Devontae and we looked at it, and I've called the director of officials just to see what I can tell Devontae.
Sure.
Because sometimes if Devontae gets his arm grabbed and he's going for a rebound, if he feels his arm is grabbed, he's trying to get his arm back. If nobody grabs his arm, he's not going to sling him out of the way. So he would go like this. Well, he's going like that, and he can't get his arm, so he slings him. A guy falls down, and he goes to get the rebound. So there's some that I just want to be able to tell Devontae, if it is the case that you get your arm locked up, that possession's over. Because we can't afford that foul, because at some point he is going to foul, and that's his second one, and it could be in the first 5 minutes of the half. And so I just need to know what to tell him, because obviously I'm new at this. I have not really ever had conversations with officials before, other than yelling at them as an assistant. That's a pretty easy job to do. I haven't had to talk to him about what did you see, what can I tell my guy, because we're just supposed to sit there and not say anything to officials. Where at the games, I even asked officials at the time, I was like, what am I supposed to tell him? And they said to fight off the box outs. Well, if they're not really nobody in the country can box out Devontae Caycock. I'm just telling you that right now. If they keep him behind him, it's because they're grabbing, they're holding, or something. And so him fighting out the box out, meaning I'm getting my arm back, or I'm making sure they don't grab me, all that kind of stuff. So it is going to be a work in progress. And I told Devontae, I said, sometimes life's not fair. Yes, he fouls. He's fouled a ton of times. They haven't called it. But so has everybody that's played the game of basketball. So does he get picked on because he is stronger and he does throw his weight around? Yes. But that's nothing he's not used to. And it's something that now we have to have him on the court. He's our best player. You know, was he the best player last year? Probably not. You know, like I said, I haven't really reviewed much film from last year, but I just saw the stats. You know, and so it's things that he has to adjust. You know, and I told him maybe it is every time you go for the rebounds, you have your hands up, but that messes with your balance.
Sure.
You know, like I don't want to mess with his balance. I don't want to decrease his effectiveness as a basketball player because he is a terrific rebounder. He's unbelievable. You know, that's the best thing he does.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to try and figure out ways for him not to rebound as much, you know, is counterproductive for our team.
Does it all seem, now that you've had a chance to look at it and talk to people, does it all seem like it's just a little tweak here, a little tweak there, and it'll all kind of iron itself out?
Yeah, I think so. As long as we keep reiterating to the director officials and he reiterates to his staff, like, you know, make sure that you see it, you know, because a lot of times if somebody has fallen down and somebody's arm is like this, you think that he pushed them.
Sure.
You know, so it's all just getting used to the whole thing, you know, and I think it'd be fine, and I am not blaming the officials by any means, you know. I'm not blaming Devontae. It's just something that everybody has to look at, you know. It's just, they make these adjustments. They have the cylinders. They have the, you know, you can go straight up now and get hit, and, you know, your arms can't come down, all sorts of stuff. So they make adjustments to make them better, too, and so that's what they'll do with Devontae.
Working on the profile for Elmore this week. What has his impact been, even though it can't be on the court? How is he still helping some of the young guys and the team overall?
Yeah, well, you know, when you're injured like that and you have surgery, he hasn't been able to travel with us yet and be around as much. I think his impact with us early before he got hurt was just how he decided to get himself into shape and really worked hard, and the guys saw that and knew that he was more dedicated and obviously a good role model for the younger guys and those kind of things. You know, since the injury, it's really, I mean, he has to just take care of himself. I mean, it's hard enough to be a college student when you're healthy, but let alone when you can't even walk, you know, and so I've just told him, you know, make sure you're not going on any road trips because you got to go to class. I mean, there's no reason to have your knees swell up going somewhere and miss class. And so since he's been hurt, he has not been able to be as important as we all wanted him to be. But in saying that, if he can't come back this year, he's going to play 3 years and be really, really good for us. And we're looking forward to coaching a healthy Matt Elmore again.
So at this point, there's still a kind of possibility that he may not be able to come back this year?
Yeah, you know, I don't want to put a timetable on it because I don't want him to feel like he has to rush back. I want him to be healthy, and he wants to be healthy. And if you start saying, if the doctors say, hey, it's going to be 6 weeks, and we start looking at our watch, 6 weeks, well, it's not responding the right way. I mean, every kid's different. It could take 20, I mean, who knows? It could take 20 weeks. I mean, you want the kid to be healthy, feeling like he knows he can be productive on the court and not get hurt again, not hurt the team, you know, all these kind of things. So I'm not putting any kind of time frame on it. All I know is that we want a healthy Matt Elmore, however long that takes to get a healthy Matt Elmore.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Being a student myself, I know how stressful this time of year can be for the guys. I mean, you got final exams coming up next month or next week, and last day of classes are this week. How do you keep them focused with all this stuff going on the academic side?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys have been through it before,
Yeah.
you know, and obviously we're not trying to take up too much of their time. We're not practicing 3.5 hours a day. You know, we're just making sure we can stay in shape, get the stuff that we need to work on done, and giving them some time to go get something to eat, knowing they have to study, knowing they have to finish a project, a final paper, all those kind of things. I mean, that's the only thing I know what to do, you know. I mean, obviously, yeah, they would rather spend either more time playing basketball or more time studying, but since you have to do both, it's a nice release to get out there and exercise and sweat and be with the guys and get away from the stress of just thinking about, I got 3 tests in 4 days, you know, or I got a 10-page paper due tomorrow, you know, all those kind of things. So I think basketball actually helps, you know, give them some normalcy.